Good afternoon, New Brunswick, and welcome to the New Brunswick Today Show for Friday, December 16th. I'm your host, Charlie Cradaville. We have a big story for you later today. The latest corruption scandal at the New Brunswick water utility apparently goes deeper than we thought, and we've got some physical evidence to show it. Please stay tuned for this story and much more on today's episode of the New Brunswick Today Show. And also, please do us a big favor and share this live streaming video with your friends right now so they can see it as well. It's another cold day here, just 23 degrees here in downtown New Brunswick. It is not expected for it to get above the freezing point today. The high is just 28 degrees today. The low is 22 tonight, according to weather.com. How cold was it yesterday? Well, take a look at this picture of the soon-to-be demolished Ferrin parking garage right next to our downtown studio. You can see there massive icicles forming on the structure. It's as a result of the required water being sprayed on the massive demolition project as that moves forward. You can see very different than it used to look there. We'll have the full story on this demo project on newbrunswicktoday.com over the weekend, so check that out. And now these cold temperatures made it really challenging for firefighters responding to a blaze inside a 3-story apartment building last night at the corner of Troop Avenue and Seaman Street in the 2nd Ward of New Brunswick. Upon arrival, the New Brunswick Fire Department called for help from other fire companies and received it. You are looking at video from that scene a few hours after firefighters were first dispatched to the building shortly after 7 p.m. No word yet on the cause of the fire. That is still under investigation. Thankfully, no one was injured, but the 3-story apartment building containing 9 units has been rendered uninhabitable. That's according to spokesperson for the city, Jennifer Bradshaw. The first call came in at 7:05 p.m. according to Bradshaw. The fire was under control by 11 p.m., she said. The Red Cross announced this morning that it had actually helped some 10 families displaced by the fire, finding them all places to stay by 1 a.m. Now, when we were on the scene, there were actually 2 large county buses there. You can see them, and they were there to keep victims warm. Approximately 42 people were displaced in all, according to City Hall. According to the city, the arrangements had been made for victims to stay at the Housing Authority building, the headquarters of the New Brunswick Housing Authority on Van Dyke Avenue, but they ended up not needing to use that facility. The building that burned is owned by a limited liability company called 338-394 Saddam Comstock Street LLC. And we believe that company is run by a man named Hetin Desai, who also owns several other properties in the neighborhood. The LLC purchased the building in 2008 for $775,000. Now, last night's fire was at least the 7th fire in the city of New Brunswick since October 27th. Of those other 6 fires, at least 3 were being investigated by police as potential arson. Now, remember, this fire we still don't know the cause of, so keep checking out newbrunswicktoday.com. Our very own Carlos Ramirez is working on a story about all of these fires, the causes, and how the displaced people were dealt with. Now, welcome back to the New Brunswick Today Show. Thanks for sticking with us. We are proud to be the only independent, bilingual community newspaper here in the Hub City. Make sure that you get the latest issue. It's available all over Middlesex County in those beautiful blue boxes that you'll see around town. But of course, the best way to get New Brunswick Today is to have it sent directly to your home or business by becoming a member. We are running a campaign right now. You might have noticed on the website. Every page you go to, it encourages you to become a member. Go to members.newbrunswicktoday.com. You can subscribe to New Brunswick Today for just $5 a month and get the only independent, bilingual community newspaper mailed to you anywhere in the United States of America. Just visit members.newbrunswicktoday.com to become a member today. And we thank everybody who has become members. Thank you to Jim Walsh for signing up to become a member on our website. Now, last week we brought you the story of the New Jersey Attorney General's office and their latest investigation into New Brunswick's embattled water utility. We explored the history of corruption at that city institution, including the 2007 suicide of Water Director Sean Maloney and the imprisonment of Edward O'Rourke, the man who took the fall for a massive years-long cover-up at the utility. That was a cover-up that endangered the public by failing to alert them to problems with the drinking water over the course of several years. Now, one thing we left out of that report: O'Rourke is no longer behind bars. We were surprised to learn that. It's according to the Department of Corrections website. Edward O'Rourke was released on parole last month. For those of you keeping score at home, that's just 9 months in the slammer for O'Rourke, the only man charged in that scheme, which endangered the public and first came to light in 2013. Now, last week in that report, we told you about Joseph DeBonis, who you can see here. He's the poker player who was a clerk stationed in the front desk in the water utilities office. DeBonis was busted by law enforcement for allegedly falsifying records, specifically by lowering the water bill of a mystery customer here. Now, for the first time, we have photos of his co-defendant. That's William Billy Ortiz, the other man charged in this bribery. Take a look. This is him, charged in this bribery and misconduct scandal. Ortiz allegedly took a $2,000 bribe in connection with the scandal. He is a water meter reader for the city, and the criminal charges against him have sparked talk around town that this wasn't the only scheme Ortiz is involved in with his job. An inside source told New Brunswick Today that both defendants had previously worked together, perhaps using city vehicles on city time to tear down the signs of Mayor Cahill's political opponents throughout the city and dispose of them. As we reported previously, Billy Ortiz is the brother of New Brunswick Fire Inspector Victor Ortiz, as well as the brother of Board of Education member Benito Ortiz, and the brother of Carlos Ortiz, another employee at the water utility. Now, both Billy Ortiz and Joe DeBonis are charged with official misconduct in this scandal. Ortiz is also facing a charge of bribery, while DeBonis is accused of that tampering with public records charge. Now, since our last report, we learned that the two men were actually not arrested. They were just given summonses and told to show up for court. They are suspended without pay from the job. Their court case will be heard in the Middlesex County Courthouse right behind me here. It is still not clear, though, who that mystery customer is who stood to benefit from their scheme. Whoever they were, they must use a lot of water. Now, we also want to show you a photo of this man, Thomas Boylan Sr. He has not been charged in this criminal case, which so far we've been led to believe is about just one bribe, one time. But our sources tell us that Boylan, who runs the utilities billing department, has the power to do favors for certain customers of the water utility, and that Boylan would frequently talk one-on-one with some of the city's bigger water customers, for instance, the owners of car washes or laundromats. Some have even suggested that there are elaborate schemes still going on to keep some people's water bills low, while other customers unwittingly foot those bills for the corrupt scheme. Now, that's where our physical evidence comes in. My guest today is an inanimate object, a water meter that we obtained, New Brunswick Today obtained, from a confidential source. Take a look at this. So what we have here is a City of New Brunswick water meter. It's two parts. It's made by a company called Census, and you can see that this is a 1-inch connection here, and so the 1-inch connection means that it's a business size, and you can also see it's obviously been used. It's been in a basement for some time. It's pretty corroded. It means it's probably seen a lot of water flow through it, and this little attachment is the radio reader, and the radio reader actually broadcasts a radio signal so that the water meter reader wouldn't have to enter your basement to read it, but they could read it from outside with the radio frequency. But I want you to zoom in here, zoom in real close here, and take a look at what it says on the water meter. Do we have a shot of this? I'll read it. It's 000 0.89 cubic feet. So I don't know. It looks like this meter might have seen a little bit more water go through it. We've been exploring what could potentially lead to this, and we actually showed this to someone who used to work at the New Brunswick water utility, and he said, and I quote, "This is proof there is a crime committed here." That is his direct quote. Now, there's so much more to this story, and we want to hear from you. Please give us a call at 732-993-9697 if you know about any misconduct or scams going on anywhere in the government, but especially if you have information about the water utility, or if you think that you might be a victim of this. We want to hear about you and your water bills that you're paying. We want to hear about your water meters. We think our sources tell us that they think that people should check their own water meter. Make sure you're being charged properly, and also make sure that the water meter is not so old that it could be corroding or in any way contaminating your drinking water. So please check that out. One of our sources told us that the city is massively overestimating the bills of many of its water customers here in New Brunswick, and that happens in cases often where the water meters can no longer be read remotely because this radio reader piece no longer works, the batteries die in it, and so when that happens they often estimate your bills and they often overestimate your bills. So check your meter. That source told us that if you're a homeowner and you call the water utility saying you want a new meter, that they are usually willing to install one for $300. But the same source says when people complain about their bills, and they call to complain about the bills, they often end up getting the new meter for free. So please stay tuned. Contact us through our Facebook page. Contact me at that phone number and let us know about your water bills and your situation. Keep watching the New Brunswick Today show and keep taking a look at that phenomenal newbrunswicktoday.com website. We will have the full story on this latest development tomorrow morning. Please, 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 if you like what you saw today, share this video with your friends on Facebook. Sign up to become a member of New Brunswick Today. That's at members.newbrunswicktoday.com. Keep us going. Keep us doing this great work. Have a great day today. Stay warm out there. Happy holidays, and we'll see you next week. Thanks so much.